Hi everyone, welcome to Mel's Go Slow Crochet. I cannot believe we are up to week number 6, I think, of doing this. So thank you for joining me on this little crochet journey. It is a little crazy weather-wise here in Adelaide. At the moment we've got some storms and I might even insert some footage of the crazy loudness that came with the storm earlier. We had hail. It's super loud in this library where I normally film. It's like a tin roof, and so it was super loud. So we may be interrupted and might have to resume this at another time. We'll see how things go. I thought maybe I can squeeze in a quick video, because the fact is I've been working on random things this week. How has your week been? First of all, I've got to show you the purchases that I got with like birthday vouchers and that sort of stuff, because I'm super excited. Everything arrived this week. So the first exciting purchase was this is the knitting needle kit that I was talking about that I got. So it's got 8 interchangeable needles, a bunch of different cable lengths, all the little bells and whistles you need to change them over. This is what the little pack looks like. Very exciting. And now as I've started speaking, I can hear the rain starting up, so I might have to pause this video. But look at these gorgeous needles. Oh my gosh. You can hear the pitter-patter of the rain. I think I might have to pause this here and come back in a little bit, but we'll see how things go. So bear with me. This is going to be a bit of a broken up vlog, but there we go, part 1. All right, I'm just going to keep trying and see how we go, because this is just not happening otherwise. So anyway, as I was showing you, I got these knitting needles. So they are Knit Pro, and this is not sponsored. I paid for these. So there's 8 different needles. They go from 3.5mm up to 8mm, and there's a bunch of different size cables to go with it. So that's super exciting. So I can't wait to try those out. Yeah, because I don't know if I'm going to finish what I need to do that's currently on my needles before my next knitting class. So I've jumped into that one fully, but hopefully, you know, there's enough here to tide me over for whatever I'm going to be doing. That's a bit basic. So that was one of my purchases. Another one was a whole bunch of yarn of this one called Aaron and Eve from Source of Fibre. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. My cat is at the door playing with something right this minute. Of course she is, because why not? So this is 100% acrylic. They've only got a dye. Where's the colour number? Oh, it's called Oven Tray. The colour is called Oven Tray. I picked, I think, 8 or 9 of these balls of yarn, all the same colour. I had the idea of crocheting like a sweater or a jumper or something, a cardigan I mean, for myself. Goodness knows when I'm going to do that. I don't even have a pattern lined up or anything. I just was like, oh well, you know, I've got a birthday voucher, may as well use it. So there's that one. I also, because it's end of financial year, or was end of financial year, you know, some yarn dyers are also having their own little sale, so I decided to partake. And so one of the yarn dyers I follow on Instagram called Gather Make Give. Oh, that rain is starting up again. What a day. It's just going to be one of those days of filming. Anyway, oh, drop one. Anyway, so she put together this pack, and I can't actually remember what it's called. Oh, but that is the colorway for the pack. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to pause this again. What a frustrating day. Okay, bear with me, everybody. Okay, welcome back. I have relocated to the lounge room because the rain has settled in. So was a bit of a pain, but there we go. It is a little bit quieter here. You'll still hear the rain, but hopefully it won't be quite as loud. But anyway, I was showing you the yarn that I got from Gather, Make and Give. So I can't remember what I said before, but basically end of financial year sale. Follow them on Instagram. Have never actually tried any of their wool. So these are all DK 100% superwash merino wool. And this particular, I'll show you the colours a bit more up close. So this particular colour is called Dalesford. It's very pretty. It's got some sort of orange, green, bit of pink. It's very interesting. And then we've got this, which is kind of like a peachy sort of light brown combination. This one's called Wattle Seed. And this one's lovely. It's called Tassie Oak. It's got a bit of tweed in there and a bit of a golden colour, which is very nice. So yeah, there's that one. And then we've got, this one's called Goulburn, which is an interesting mixture of colours there. Quite like that one. And then finally, no, there should be, oh yeah, there are two more. One's just fallen down. So this one is called Gunnedah. It's a bit of a, some sort of pinky hues, but also a bit of brown in there. And then, oh gosh, the final one, what a day with filming. The final one is probably my favourite. It's called Wombat. It's like a rich brown, which is really lovely. Now, I sort of bought these on the spur of the moment just from seeing the sale on Instagram and not being able to resist these beautiful colours. It's very natural Australian type colours. So I think what I'm going to make is, Jill from Gumleaf Crochet has a playlist on her channel. I'll link to that in the description below, which is for what she's called a regal rectangle blanket. And I think those colours are just going to look gorgeous in that. As to my plan for when I'm going to start that, I really can't see it happening this year, but probably next year. My task list for this year has gotten out of control. I mean, it was already out of control, but it's just growing and growing and growing. So I'm going to have to start shuffling around some things, moving things into next year. So that's the plan for that yarn, that spur of the moment yarn. Also, I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. So I've shown before this particular skein of yarn, which is an alpaca cashmere blend. And I talked about wanting to make a new scarf for myself because the scarf that I've kept for myself that I haven't gifted to somebody else is really scratchy from cheap. It's using cheap crafty yarn. So this was just gorgeous and I thought it'd be beautiful against the skin. So I finally started making that this week. I have almost used up one hank of yarn completely. And I'm just using the Suzette stitch, which is a stitch I love. And yeah, so I've started making a scarf for myself. I'm hoping that the 2 hanks is enough. So we'll see how far this goes, and then I'll get on to the next one. But it actually led me to think about one of the things that I didn't know when I first started getting into fibre crafts, and didn't know until I learnt this on YouTube. But basically, when you have a hank of yarn like this, which you tend to get from small businesses and that sort of stuff, you can't use this as it is. You need to wind it into a ball, otherwise it turns into a giant mess. Now, I didn't know that, and thankfully I never fell into that trap because I learnt that before I went and bought and tried to use one of these hanks of yarn. But I just thought it's something that I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for YouTube. So I thought I'll pass on that information. Now, they say it's good to pair a ball winder with a Swift, which sort of holds this when you unfold it. It holds it, and then you sort of use the ball winder to wind the yarn. Now, I do not have a Swift, and my husband, who is really into 3D printing, 3D printed me this ball winder. So it's a bit of a money saver. I mean, it's not pretty to look at, but who cares? It's functional. So you just screw that onto the bottom of a table and sort of set your yarn winding and turn this as your yarn winds onto it, and it's really good. So without a Swift, it takes a little longer because I sort of have to, I mean, people have different ways. They say you can put the yarn on the back of a chair. I find that's just too fiddly. So I usually just have it like over my legs, with my legs up and like over my knees, and trying to wind like that. So it takes a little while. But he did find the other day a pattern for 3D printing a Swift as well. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I want to get a real Swift or give that a go first. Because, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, you don't need to spend a lot of money. And I did find some videos of winding hanks of yarn into balls without even one of these. However, look, it did not go well for me when I tried that once. And the reason I tried it is because this had been printed, but I didn't realise that that my daughter had broken the handle off before I'd even had a chance to use it. So like I'd unwound the hank of yarn ready to go, and then couldn't use the ball winder, and then I got so frustrated. I was trying to wind it by hand, gigantic knot. So unfortunately the hank of yarn that I was doing that with had to get tossed because I had a certain amount of the knot undone, but I just could not get this last bit. It was just constantly knotting on itself. And I don't know how long I tried. I feel like it was weeks. I don't know if it actually was, but it felt like it was weeks. So yeah, look, I think it's worth, well, no, maybe you're more patient than I, but these winders are just worth their weight in gold, really. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on one, like I didn't. So that's working beautifully. And the only other thing, I will just say, I will insert some B-roll of me working on that scarf, just because that's all I really filmed this week. I had plans to film other stuff and just didn't go around to it. So anyway, and a knitting update, a very quick knitting update. So this is how far I have gotten with my fingerless mitten, one of them anyway, one of two. So I have finished the bottom cuff. I have finished, had to do like make the hole from the cuff to where we're up to 15 centimeters. So the rest of it was just stockinette stitch, which I'm holding up around the wrong way to you. So that, am I? Oh my gosh, I can't even see, it's so dark in here. But yeah, so now I'm up to the little cuff at the top, which is not quite as big as that. And then we're going to sew them together. So I've almost finished one. I'm hoping to finish it by the weekend. But yeah, look, work's not too bad. But last night when I was doing it, I was like, how did I get these holes in here? Like there's a couple of spots which are really sparse, and there's a defined hole. So it's not the neatest of work. Here it is. But I don't know how I did it. So anyway, I'm just going to push through now because I'm almost at the end of this one. Then I'll try sewing them together, and then I'll start the next one because I want to get that finished so I can take it back to the class and show the teacher what I've done. Not that we're getting graded or anything, but just so that she can see and offer me any tips for improvement or how I even did those funny little mistakes. But it's actually been fun working on this at the night time. But I find I really need to concentrate. So yeah, tricky to do. Tricky, but it's only because it's new to me. It looks like I understand for knitters that is super basic, but I'm doing my best. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave this here while I've got the opportunity to actually speak. I'm sorry for the craziness of this vlog. It's been not at all like I imagined it would go. Anyway, why don't you leave a comment? Let me know what you've been up to this week. Hope you all have a great week. Like the video if you liked it, and if you'd like to be notified of future videos, subscribe if you like, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye.